Brooklyn Nets show fight but fall to Cavaliers in second half collapse. Coming out of the 2025 All-Star break, the Brooklyn Nets remain one of the NBA's most intriguing teams. That's not something often said about a 20-34 squad, but Brooklyn's direction for the rest of the season is anyone's guess. Is Operation Tank officially off the table? Or is there still room to revive it? Can Jordi Fernandez and his scrappy, high-energy group continue to defend at an elite level? Their first game post-break wouldn't provide many answers. Facing the league-best Cleveland Cavaliers 44-10 and their top-ranked offense is a tough challenge for any team, whether aiming for a playoff push or quietly embracing a rebuild. With a week of rest and a nearly full roster, the Nets were expected to compete. But how much would it matter? Brooklyn's first half fight. Quite a bit, as it turned out. The Nets took a 50-48 lead into halftime, and it could have been larger if not for a dozen sloppy turnovers. Outside of the miscues, Brooklyn played with grit and intensity. Fernandez's defense pressured Darius Garland and Donovan Mitchell, making sure neither found their rhythm early. Barkley's center came alive for every offensive rebound, every sharp defensive rotation. The shooting numbers were ugly, both teams hit just 26% from deep, but this wasn't a lazy, post-All-Star affair. Brooklyn closed the half on a 12-2 run, sparked by Nick Claxton outworking Jarrett Allen and Evan Mobley in the paint. It was the same high-effort, low-efficiency game Brooklyn has played for the past month. As former Nets coach Kenny Atkinson noted pregame, "You know, Jordy, I feel like I'm watching a FIBA team." That's a real compliment. It's physicality and extreme physicality. I think they're fouling a lot, which is fine. They made a commitment, they have an identity. With a little more health, could this identity push Brooklyn into the play-in tournament conversation? Killian Hayes, debut and Brooklyn's bench contributions. Even if Killian Hayes was the first man off the bench, which he was Thursday night. The former number 7 overall pick, now on a 10-day contract, checked in for D'Angelo Russell 5 minutes into the game. His stat line wasn't eye-popping, he shot ____ from the field, but he had his moments. He struggled staying in front of quicker guards but also drew a charge and recorded a block in ____ minutes. Before tip-off, Hayes spoke about his mindset. "My goal is to stay in the NBA, make a mark for myself. But in the short term, I just want to be a team player, show what I can do in these 10 days, and keep going from there." It was a solid start, but the most impactful bench performer was undoubtedly Trendon Watford. He delivered 13 points, 4 rebounds, and 3 assists, along with a few highlight plays in the middle quarters. Cleveland's second half surge. After the break, Cleveland's stars took control. Garland took over early in the third quarter, orchestrating a personal 7-0 run to create separation. Mitchell, meanwhile, returned intent on attacking every defender in his path. Brooklyn, teetering on the edge, turned to Watford, who helped trim the deficit to 2 possessions heading into the fourth quarter. It felt like an opportunity for Brooklyn's most improbable win yet. But the talent gap proved insurmountable. Though the Nets cleaned up their turnovers, they simply couldn't generate or convert quality looks. Their second-half shooting numbers, 40% from the field, 26% from 3, and 55% at the free throw line, sealed their fate. Claxton, for all his early dominance, finished 4 of 10 from the field and 0 of 4 at the line. Day'Ron Sharpe battled hard but shot just 3 of 10. The smalls couldn't hit threes, the bigs couldn't finish inside, and Cleveland took full advantage, capping the game with a late 13-0 run. Jordi Fernandez on what went wrong. For Fernandez, the issue wasn't just offensive execution, it was how missed shots affected Brooklyn's energy. Second chance points in the second half were 14-2. That's how you lose games. And then the fast breaks, 1-5-2 in that half. There are positives. We responded well in the first half. It wasn't pretty, we weren't shooting the ball well, but we were in the game against a great team. We just didn't sustain our focus through all 4 quarters, and that's what we need to improve. Brooklyn's bad luck with injuries didn't help either. D'Angelo Russell left early in the third quarter with an apparent ankle sprain, right as Brooklyn held a 5-point lead. For a team already stretched thin, it was a devastating blow. For him to go down, that's tough, Cam Johnson admitted. But I think we have capable guys across the board. It still shouldn't have gotten out of hand, but sometimes it happens. Fernandez kept his post-game update brief. We'll reevaluate tomorrow. Cleveland's stars closed the door. Ultimately, the Cavaliers' firepower proved too much. After struggling in the first half, Jarrett Allen and Evan Mobley dominated the paint after the break, combining for 10 of 13 shooting and 20 rebounds. Brooklyn's frontcourt, which had held its own early, was simply overwhelmed down the stretch. Still, one thing remains clear about these Nets: they don't fold. Effort and identity are never in question, even if wins remain elusive.